So, you're starting a construction business. Congratulations. Way to go. Big support from me. Fast forward 10 years. There's going to be two options for you. Either you're going to have a business that is successful, you're going on vacation, life is good, you've got an awesome team, you've got an awesome business, money's flowing, and like I said, life is good. Or you're going to be all too typical, most case scenario contractor that life is not great. You're stressed out. You're overworked. Your bank account is short. You don't know how to go on vacation. Your family is upset with you because they never see you. You do not want to be that. And the difference between those two scenarios is going to be your systems and your processes, the software that you use. I'm going to be going over that today. I am super excited because this is my cup of tea, cup of coffee, whatever you may be drinking. Good segue. Cheers. So, what are you going to need? You probably heard it before. You need to systematize your business, just like, McDonald's is the classic case. It was run by teenagers. How do they do that? It's like a multinational gigantic organization and it's managed by teenagers essentially because they have amazing systems and they've been building their business since day one for decades. All right, so how do you get there? I'm going to be sharing with you 5 different areas and I'm going to be sharing with you the systems and processes and software that you need. So don't go anywhere. This is super important. All the other videos in this series, so this is a series of how to start a construction company. This is number 9 right now. All the other ones have been leading up to this because they've all gone over a certain area of business and giving you the kind of the knowledge portion. This is where you put it together and create that infrastructure of an actual business that's going to be separate from you that you can step away from in the future. Very critical mindset kind of shift here is as a new business owner, you are going to be the business. Everything goes through you. You are the systems, you are the processes, everything flows through you. And the biggest risk for anybody else that wants to step into your business or operate your business, or if you're going to sell your business, their biggest risk is you because without you, the company falls apart. So you have a very amazing opportunity here to start from day one, ground one, and build your business right. So thanks for listening to my rant because it's super important and I just want to get that through your noggin. Let's go. So first one, file management. So what do I need to start, right? What's the first thing to get into place? And the first thing I'm going to suggest is get a Google Workspace account. I can't remember the exact which one it is. It's the one that allows you to do shared drives. It's not like the first, like there's a free one and then there's like basic. Yeah, I'm not sure what price it is. I think it's a business standard or something like that. Anyways, get a Workspace account, get your file structure set up, and have a cloud drive from day one. And the reason I like Google is because it's very useful across devices. You can have it on your tablet, you can have it on your phone. Doesn't matter if you have Android, Apple, whatever Chinese kind of phones are out there nowadays. You can run Google Drive, you can run your Google files on there. So that's why I love it because it's very, it goes across different areas. And then you want to have your folder structure. I've got another video of how to set this all up, so I'm not going to get into here, but essentially you're going to have your folder structure. You're going to have maybe like sales and marketing, projects, financials, clients. You're going to have like your top line 5 folders and then you have subfolders within that. But you want to get yourself set up with a Google Workspace. Use Google Docs and Google Sheets. You can go the Microsoft route with like Excel and Word and stuff like that and Drive. It probably kind of works similar, but I just like Google because it works well. It's streamlined, it's not overly complex, and it's very cloud-based, works from anywhere, on anywhere. It's updated live regularly. So that's the first kind of system to get into place for file management and making whatever kind of files you need. Second one I'm going to mention is bookkeeping. If you watched the previous video in this series, I went all through bookkeeping, but essentially for bookkeeping, you're probably going to want to get started with QuickBooks. The other one that is available is Wave. Wave is free, so it might be a good option to start. You can always transition to QuickBooks later, keep your overhead low because you don't have to pay for Wave and you can use it, but it's just much easier to start with what you're going to need for the future. So if you've done your homework properly and you've got, some operating capital to get started, get QuickBooks, get signed up. That's it for number 2. Number 3. So number 3 is a big one. This is your estimating and project management software. For the first couple of months, if you don't have projects, it depends like kind of where you're at in your journey. You could maybe do without it for the first month or two, but as soon as you have projects or a few projects, get a project management software. It's going to make your life a whole lot easier. And yes, you're going to have to spend a couple $100 a month probably on it. But again, if you've done your homework properly and prepped and planned your business properly, you'll have, that first 3 to 6 months of overhead expenses saved up to afford you this. The reason you want to get started with it is because it's going to save you a ton of time, save you a ton of headaches. And it's another thing where get your business set up right from day one instead of trying to change it later. Trying to implement new stuff and change things up later just takes longer and it's more of a headache. It's not that you can't change from one software to the next, but just get started. Pick one that you like. My big recommendations, if you're a general contractor, home builder, remodeler, is I love Contractor Foreman, super great. Build Exact, another good one, and Builder Trend is kind of the big one in the industry. Personally, Builder Trend works well, but I feel like there's other software that just does a better job overall. But try them out, figure out what's the kind of the top couple of things that you really want from a software. Do a free trial, get a demo, figure out, make your own choice, what's going to work best for you. As far as estimating software, you probably don't need any specific estimating software, but a takeoff software is very helpful. Again, at the beginning, keep your overhead low. Maybe you don't want to take off software right away. Builder Trend does have one that's integrated. It's called Square Takeoff. There's also Bluebeam, which is great. The price point's really reasonable and it's very, very good software. And then there's a few others as well out there. But again, do your own research, figure out what you're going to need. So those are kind of the basic softwares to get set up and pretty much all you need to get started. Now I'm going to go into the more like the systems and the SOPs and how to start conceptualizing that and what you're going to need to know. I'm going to run through because I think it'll be a good exercise for you, kind of the flow of business and what kind of systems are needed in certain areas. So the next like fourth topic here is SOPs, but I'm going to be going through them in a sequential kind of flow of business and a client journey, if that makes sense. Hopefully it will in a bit here. Just stay with me. Making sense? All right. So when you get started, you should have one SOP for every function of the business. So this is a big issue problem. I think where a lot of contractors run into is it's like we've got an SOP for invoicing and we've got an SOP for running reports. We got an SOP for bookkeeping. We got an SOP for how to collect payments. We got an SOP for that. It's like there's so many documents and they're all kind of like random. There's no structure that it's just like someone new coming in is like, I don't know where to find all this or like how do I do this? What I have to go find all these different SOPs. Have one SOP with everything in it from A to Z for that specific thing. So you should have a finances SOP. You should have a project management SOP. You should have a sales and marketing SOP. So have one SOP for one function of the business. And there's going to be a lot of information in there, but structured in a way where you've got headlines. So sales and marketing, you might have a marketing SOP. You might have Facebook. You might have Instagram. You could have YouTube posting. You could have referrals. So one SOP with a lot of information in it. And that way you can just open that. It's very easy to get to. It's like, oh, how do I do this? Well, that's a financial thing. I jump into the financial SOP and then you just search for it or find it in there. And it's very easy that way. And it's very easy to create this database, this knowledge base of all the processes inside your company without having like 100 different little documents here and there and they get messed up and outdated and whatever. So that's very key. What I just mentioned there, what you're going to start with is like your branding, your sales and marketing. That should be an SOP. That's kind of like the big focus when you're starting a new construction business is like you need that lead gen, you need new leads coming in. After that, you're going to have like an estimating and project management. Estimating and project management could probably be separate or you can combine them into one SOP. It's up to you. But you're probably going to have an estimating SOP, which is pretty big, project management, which is another pretty big one. And you're going to have kind of the things like you're going to think of a client journey. So as far as like the systems in a business, the new lead system, what happens when a new lead comes in? Someone contacts you, I want to build a house or I'm thinking of renovating my basement. What happens after that? Just lay it out step by step. Start small with a couple of different steps. And all you need is about 5 steps. You can always build on it and make it more in depth as you go on, but you just want to get what's in your head onto paper. And because you're starting out, like just having that in place of like actually thinking through it instead of just trying to fly by the seat of your pants and like trying to take care of everything. That's how you get stressed out. That's how you get wearing all the hats in the business. That's why you see that 10, 20, 30-year guy in business who's a contractor, smoking his cigarettes, drinking his coffee from his truck, stressed out, and still in the same place that he was 30 years ago because he's never really thought through and built out these systems in place. So don't let that be you. From there, again, the client journey. So new lead, that system. Then you're going to have your estimating system. From there, you're going to have your client onboarding system. So when the client says, yeah, let's move forward, let me sign the contract, what happens then, right? Again, 5, 10 steps. Doesn't have to be super descriptive. You just need the steps of like this happens, that happens, and then have check marks. So we need to set them up in QuickBooks so we can invoice them. We need to schedule the project. We need to contact the trades. We need to order the materials. We have to check what selections stains they want, do they, what paint colors they want, what flooring, what plumbing fixtures, all that kind of stuff. So have that checklist, have checklists inside the SOP, everything in one place. Trust me, it'll make your life so much easier. And when you're training someone, they'll know where to go get stuff. They're not going to be filling out that checklist for each project using the SOP, but the template of like the estimate, the template of the checklist, that should be inside the SOP so that you've got one central location where it's like, this is solid. This is how we operate. This is what we check when we do framing check. This is what we check when we schedule inspection. This is the way we do it or whatever. So it's very solid. And that way, when you put it into your project management software or you put it into your financial software, those check boxes, everything can just flow into the business. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. Again, if you're having trouble with this or you're not understanding, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. What's the first system you want to get in place for your business? Let me know. What's the biggest pain you have right now? That's the system you need to alleviate that pain and create a process. That's the SOP. To get like that next level, I'm just going to give you a kind of a window, a picture into what the next level is. When you're starting out, I would not suggest necessarily doing this right off the bat. You could, but your process is probably going to change so much in such a short period of time because you're learning a lot right now that it's not going to make sense to start making training videos. But training videos are actually very easy for training purposes. And I would probably say at the beginning, get those 5 to 10 steps as a new business owner so that at least you know how to go through the process and you can bring some consistency into your business. Later, when you plan to hire someone, so like you're probably going to be doing, again, wearing all the hats, you're probably going to be doing the admin, you're going to be doing the invoicing, the sales, the project management, whatever. You're doing all of this. At least you've got like some kind of documentation of the steps. Later, when you're ready to hire your first project manager or lead carpenter, or your first virtual assistant or admin person, that is when you need to kind of build out some description and some better like meat on the bones, if you will, of those SOPs, and then create a training video. And training video, you just get on your computer. So go on Zoom and do screen share and just walk through anything to do with like computer automation, like tasks, just do a screen share. If you're on site and maybe you want to create trainings for your guys on site, like, framing a wall, running electrical, whatever it may be, just go online to YouTube, find a video or a playlist of videos that is like very close to the way that you like to operate and just put that into your knowledge base, put that into the SOP. Hey, extracurricular activities, go watch these videos and then get trained up. It's not that they're going to be perfect or know everything, but at least they've got that knowledge so that when they're on site and you're communicating with them, they don't have this blank stare of like, what are you talking about? I don't know what's like whatever skyhook is. And they're actually going to have some knowledge so that the training is just that much easier. So making sense, you following with me? SOP is super important. Again, start your business right, build that foundation. You're going to grow to the moon and back and be making millions of dollars in no time. And if you're not, contact me. We'll get some work done. All right, number 5. Last one I'm going to be talking about here for systems and software. Yeah, I love systems and software. They make your life so much easier. And like when you're winning and your business is winning and your people feel like you're winning and everyone's on the same page, like it's an amazing feeling, and you just start attracting people, you start attracting wealth and clients, and things are just, it's really super important. Just trust me on that. Number 5 is admin, so administration. This is going to be one of the early things you're going to want to work towards, and you may have your own ideas about this depending on what you think or what you believe in. I don't know if it comes down to beliefs really, but if you want to have a virtual assistant in the business, or if you want to hire someone local, like a local assistant, but this should be one of the first hires you have. You're probably going to have some field guys, potentially, unless you're just subcontracting everything, but have some sort of admin. Have them start at just like 5 hours a week or 10 hours a week. It does not have to be enough, but you're going to have this big list of tasks that you don't enjoy doing or don't have time for, that you can pay someone, $10, $20, $30 an hour, or whatever it may be, and you don't have to do it, so you can concentrate on $50, $100, $500 an hour tasks. As a business owner, even if your first year in business, you're only making maybe a few $100,000 or whatever revenue, your hourly rate of what you're worth is at least $100, $200, $300 an hour. So start thinking like a business owner and thinking, why am I doing this $20 an hour task? Why am I doing this $30 an hour task when I can hire someone, get it off my plate, train them, create an SOP, create that system, create some automation, and I can concentrate, spend my time on tasks that are actually worth me doing, 1, 2, $300, $1,000 an hour like jobs, things like sales, estimating, managing large projects, future development of the company, learning, improving yourself. There's all these other things that you can be focusing on. And when you're doing too much, it kind of clouds your brain too. And that's where you get the stress. That's where you get the overwhelm. Is like you're always switching tasks. You're not defining roles because you're doing everything. When you can just focus more on one role, you bring consistency. You have much better success. So again, hire an admin 5, 10 hours a week. And what you want to be doing is when you start your business, you're going to have a list. My favorite list, one of my two favorite lists, two, maybe three. Favorite list is the I don't want to do this anymore. I need to delegate a list. So you're going to have a delegate this list. For now, you're probably doing it because you're starting out and maybe you don't want to hire someone right out of the gate. But you're going to have a list of things that you want to delegate. This could be invoicing clients. This could be bookkeeping. This could be maybe social media posting. It could be, any number of things with inside your business, whatever it may be. If you're doing a task and you're like, this is repetitive, I don't enjoy this, I could probably train someone very quickly for this, or I know I can hire someone for this. Put on your delegate list. In a month, 2 months, 3 months, you're going to have like this list of things that you want to get off your plate. And now when you start getting too busy, you can go to that list, you can hire someone, create the system first, and you can see like, this is the stuff I want them to do. Now it's very easy for you then to be like, this is, I'm going to be passing the torch, and you're going to have to train them. You're going to have to create a system for them. It's not like, easy transition. There's implementation and everything to go along, but it'll give you a big good idea what to do for your admin. Making sense. I'll see you on the next video. Here's the best. I hope we have all the success and amazing just journey as you build your business.